We caught Mr. Schultz napping. When we woke him, we told him we had heard many stories from students as well as coaches of his streaking escapades after victorious basketball games. Coach Schultz, can you share one of these stories?
There's so many. I mean, teenagers are so full of stories, and so are we coaches. Man, I don't know. You can't put this on. I don't know. Ask me something else.
Is there anything that you have to say that might add to the incriminating evidence that we already have against you persuading another head basketball coach who we'll call Coach S into joining your promiscuous acts?
You know, I was 4 years older, so I was always manipulating him, you know, what, psychologically or whatever. But he's bigger than me. And when we fought, I'd always hit him in the arm, but it didn't matter to him. He was always fighting for survival.
Coach Schultz, can you name some specific teachers who have joined you on those nights?
And they know who they are.
Well, then, what first got you interested in streaking?
What got me interested in it?
Coach Schultz, who is the most influential person in showing you how to make a quote-unquote victory run?
Probably the one on Mrs. Ross.
After that disturbing image, we decided to move on to the next interview. Coach Pulliam, we're trying to accrue evidence of Coach Schultz's shady activities. Do you care to comment?
Okay. Good luck to you guys.
Wait. Due to his obsession, maybe Mr. Pulliam has also participated in this victory run. Coach Seaver, did anybody have trouble adapting to Schultz's nude celebration tactics?
It took us a little while to get used to it.
What is your personal opinion of Coach Schultz?
Coach Schultz is crazy. You guys know that, but...
Coach Seaver, do you think Schultz is qualified to partake in this unclothed tradition?
He knows what he's doing and does an outstanding job.
What is your attitude during this whole celebration?
You're either really high or you're really low. I mean, you're either feel like jumping off of a building to end it all, or you feel pretty good about things.
Mr. Henderson, could you please give us your opinion of our beloved principal, Mr. Parkhurst?
I don't know if I can do that without getting in trouble.
Oh, come on now. Don't be shy.
He was a liberal, so my opinion of him would not be very good in that respect.
Mr. Henderson, since you are the so-called new guy on the teaching staff at Alva High School, could you please state your full name?
Ouch. I figured this out a long time ago, what I was going to say. If somebody ever asked me that, and I can't remember what it is.
Since Mr. Henderson had trouble answering that last question, we decided to move on to the final interview. Ehrlich, we all know you've been notorious for failing students. How many do you plan on failing this year out of our senior class?
Oh, gosh. 91, 92.
So that's been
Or
about...
was it 92, 93? 91, 92, that was it.
Well then, what is your favorite method of prohibiting students from receiving their diplomas?
I love the research paper. I think that is more fun than anything. And when I got that paper developed the way that I like to teach it, that's probably the most fun I have is that film paper. I enjoy that so much. Yeah.
Mrs. Ehrlich, if your students could describe your classroom in one word, what would they say?
Dungeon!
Okay, I didn't want to bring this up, but when did you first start abusing your so-called prescription medication?
1984.
Well, what are some of the side effects that you experience?
I have just gotten this awful feeling. It's just come over me. I know what's going on now. It just came to me in a dream.
Mrs. Ehrlich, are you okay? I read in the paper last week that you were picked up by the police for testing positive from your mind-altering drugs. What was your least favorite part of this situation?
I don't like to ride in the car.
Okay, Mrs. Ehrlich, this is my final question. Do you have any words of encouragement for this year's graduating class?
I'm going to flunk you. There's plenty of time to...
No.
Take my answer as a different question.
No, it's just an interview.
Well, this year's senior class, by all means, wins. True, very true. I've heard about you guys since you were in 7th grade, how wonderful you were. I won't tell you who told me, but...
Mr. E.
Mr. E. But he always bragged on this class as probably the brightest class we'd ever taught in his whole life, and I tend to agree with it, I think, as far as overall and personality-wise. But as